for due diligence.
Don't you think it's a bit strange? Because I'm glad you clarified that was an assumption. Because I'm wondering that if they actually consulted INEC, could INEC have released a timetable saying one thing, and then when the laws are finally amended, they seem to be saying another thing?
You see, the issue is that INEC has to work with what it has at hand now as the law. The law has not been amended, their proposal. Even if there are this proposal, INEC will not envisage that proposal and they have to give, even if it is a kind of a working reference date. Then if there's going to be a shift forward or backward, it's now left to the law that will come into effect.
Just wondering, are you comfortable? I mean, you are a politician, you're also a Nigerian. Are you comfortable with the preparations that you have seen INEC undertake so far?
So far, the preparation is okay, except that they need to develop this issue of electronic verification, what is called card reader. Because the recent elections being conducted, there are a lot of problems with the card reader. There are some also state, local government, that is the state independent, what they call state electoral bodies, have borrowed these machines, and it was really a disappointment. So if anything, is for INEC to really, now that this is coming, they should perceive it, to make sure that they become proactive. Not when they brought a machine, packet it at the polling unit, and you discover it non-functional. They have to kind a way of, even if it is a fire brigade approach, to make sure that all the card readers to be deployed to polling unit has been checked and okayed and ready for work. So this is one area that is really INEC need to develop.
Do you have a question for him?
I do. Honorable member, you know, when we heard the National Commissioner, and one of the things that he was talking about is the potential for a logistical catastrophe when it comes to this election and the late coming of whatever amendment will come after the harmonization. Do you believe, in your mind, has the federal legislature been cognizant of this? And to what extent are you factoring that into whatever process emerges from the harmonization?
Come again, sir?
I asked you, sir, that if after the you know, we heard the National Commissioner talk about the logistical issues. To what extent have the lawmakers factored these issues in to whatever decision will come out of the harmonization process?
Well, you see, when you talk of logistics, to us, first you will talk is the money to provide, to hire whatever services we are going to do. And we anticipated that. That is why in the INEC budget, there are a provision for contingency in case such thing happens. So when you have the money, you can hire all the experts that can do. You don't have to. If you can hire somebody that can do a work in 2 weeks, then you can hire a bit professional that can reduce it maybe to 1 week.
How do you think that these amendments are going to, affect our elections going forward? Because some people have also accused the lawmakers of being a bit selfish here and looking at just the next general elections. Because you've already said that you're hoping that some of this...
You see,
just a moment.
Yes.
You're hoping that some of these amendments, if not all of them, will be taking effect with the 2019 elections.
Yeah, you see, people have to allow the law. We are only being speculative. Let the law come. If we had problem, we can still come back to drawing board. I appear here sometime in front of you, and I told that there are 3 processes of amending a law. We have what we call a private bill, which can be sponsored from outside. Civil liberty organization, they have never sponsored a bill, except if it is an executive bill or the National Assembly bill that they will be called during public hearing too. But for goodness sake, what stopped them from sponsoring a private bill? If they want to challenge, let it come, it will be subjected to processes. But they don't do that. Rather, they criticize. Please be proactive. Provide answers. You can also make the law, but except that it has to come through the executive is different. The individual bill from the National Assembly, be it Senate, be it Rep, is different. Now, civil liberty organization, instead of more talking, crying over something, why can't you put in place your perceived wrong and come with the law and sponsor it? That is why.
Honorable member, I just really want to take us back just for a moment.
Good.
when you look at the last 2.5 years, what we have seen is an unprecedented collision course, a collision rather, between the federal legislature and the federal executive, and particularly around budget issues. For the first time, it was under this administration that we found out that there was something called budget padding, that there was this kind of collusion that had been taking place between the legislature and the executive to funnel national resources to the pockets of legislators, essentially. Now, this controversy was brought about by two different sides, two different ideas of what governance should be. Now, I want to ask you, sir, very directly, whether or not this experience that has come about between the legislature and the executive over the last 2 years is shaping the decision, the purported decision, to amend the Electoral Act to essentially give lawmakers some increased leverage in the electoral process in terms of the presidential election.
No, sir. It's not that, and we've never even contemplated that. In the first place, those controversies arise from people who did not educate themselves with the proper provisions in the Constitution as regard the duties and functions of the legislature, especially regarding Section 80, which provided the administration or the management of the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Having said that, that is there. Even the lawyers themselves who took the position that the legislators has no right to tinker with the budget, that has been put to rest. Come to it, issue of padding, first, is a lexicology that is not known or is not even found as far as the legislative work regarding budget or whatever is concerned. Because it could be found at the executive level. When Mr. President prepares from his table, bringing to us anything that was not submitted by budget planning, and it found itself on the table of Mr. President does not know where it comes. Before it transits to the National Assembly, you can call it padding. When he places it in the National Assembly, it's a mere estimate. The moment he drops it, it is dead on arrival. And then when it is sent to him for assent, until he assented or passed the bill and transmitted by the clerk of the National Assembly to him, whatever transpired in between is constitutionally okay. It is our duty, just like we are the auditors, we are the editors.
Now, Honorable, we have to thank you most kindly for coming. Just wondering, is this going to go through the State Houses of Assembly?
No.
Okay. We have to thank you most kindly for coming.
Thank you very much.
On Sunrise Daily. Honorable Yunusa Abubakar is a member of the All Progressives Congress and also a member of the House of Representatives. Sunrise Daily continues in just a moment. Please stay with us.